Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha, Dr. Lori Monaco. Welcome, welcome. It's beautiful out today. It's sunny. It's supposed to be in the mid 70s. Very, very, very happy. Gladiator Guru and I are going to get out and party this morning later after the show. So good morning, everyone, and welcome. So go ahead, Gladiator Guru.
Buenos días, mi gente. Good morning, because it's a beautiful morning. Because it is. The birds are chirping. The sun is shining. I don't know how chilly it is because I woke up late, so I haven't had a chance to go outside, take a sip of coffee with the song, with the birds singing to me today. So I'm a little behind, but it's beautiful. I'm up. Washed my ass, did everything I had to do. Here I am. I'm drinking my Cafe Bustelo this morning. It's got a little cold, but everything is as it should be. And everything should be as we desire it to be. So let's push forward because it is a beautiful morning. It's Tuesday. It's Triumphant Tuesday. So, pa'lante, mi gente. And good morning. I see that the badass Buddha already jumped on saying good morning to everybody. So
yes, because I've been so slack on it the last few shows.
Kimberly Sanchez, Matame. Luis, good morning. Buenos dias. Kimberly says, what is beauty? Beauty can be anything you want it to be. Person, place, or thing. Even the ugliest person, painting or dress, there is beauty. Absolutely. The other day, I've always known this person was like ugly to me, and then I was listening to them speak, and they spoke with such peace. And then I looked at them again, and their eyes looked so like almond-shaped, beautiful to me. And I think that, we all have to get past of what we thought of was ugly. Because as an artist, when I paint. I don't care who likes it or not. And then Byron Rockmore, who's been on the show before, he's always having coffee at my house when I'm in Florida. And he's like, he says, oh, you got a new painting? I said, yeah. He goes, shut up. Just stop. Let me look at the damn thing for myself and come up with the story. You always try and explain it to me.
That's, what? That is true. You do that every time when you show a painting. You always got to explain it. And, he's right.
Because he's right for him. He's right for him, but I painted it for this reason, and this is what came out. But I said, all right. So I let him figure it out. They help come seeing things that I didn't even put in there or that I don't see. So then we have fun with it back and forth. But yes, it is right. When I describe it, I'm defending it. How's that? Because when I paint, it is just transferring my sorrow, my grief, my anxiety, whatever it is that I'm feeling. That's why I haven't really been painting since a couple of days since Mom died. I haven't picked up a paintbrush, but that's what happens. So then I feel like I got to protect my painting by explaining to you what it is before you assume of what you think it is, which is wrong because beauty is in the eye of the beholder, which is today's topic. So that's why I brought that up. And you're right, Kim. And thank you, Lori, for backing that up. God creates such beauty in the world. Too bad not all of us have an open mind, heart, and spirit to see and appreciate it. Exactly. I didn't even read that, but it's exactly what I said. Good morning, Wanda. And it's true. It's true. Beauty is beauty. My aunt, Dolly, Iris Irita's mom, something happened years ago, and she looks at me. She goes, lindo es lindo, which means beauty is beauty. Whether you got a ponytail lopsided at the top of your head with no makeup or you're all dazzled up. And I prefer to be with the ponytail with no makeup, but it is. Beauty is beauty, and this is fleeting, and that's what people don't understand. Men, they're so aesthetic. This is fleeting. Beauty is so much deeper. Okay, that's it for me. I'm rambling. Good morning, buenos dias,
good morning,
namaste.
Wanda. So Wanda's on this morning, and she had made me this lovely thing. I wore this the other day. It's a little tree of life.
Tree of life. Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
So thank you, my dear. And she got me a really nice cup. Oh, I should have used the cup today, but
good morning,
anyway.
Michelle. Oh, you don't have it there?
No, no, it's over in the corner over there. Just haven't. I'm not using it today, so All right, let me just get on here. And
Get on.
I already see that people have shared. So thank you so much for that on Facebook. We really, really appreciate that. We do our own sharing as well. Sometimes it's, what's up with the watch parties? Did they get rid of those, right? Because
Yes, I can't get them done, but Ana Laura, buenos días. Ana Laura just woke up. She's like with her eye muck. She's watching the show. But you know what? Thank you. We love that.
Oh my God. We were talking about that before we came on. I'm like, I look like a very tired drag queen. Like I got the circles under my eyes. I looked very drag queenish, which really is wonderful if you're a guy, because the drag queens are gorgeous. But to call a woman a drag queen is really quite insulting. I just insulted myself. But that's what I was feeling this morning. I'm looking at it going, oh my God, look at this, Anyway.
And that's what you see. That's what you see. It's always, it is what we allow to see. So what is it that we have to, I wrote something. Hold on. I wanted to read it because it was important to me. Carmen also sent something, but it says, give me coffee to change the things I can and a margarita to accept the things I can't. But that's not what I was reading. So this is what's important. Thank you for sharing what you felt your look was like, because that's just what you see, right? Your reflection is like, say I love you. Say I love you. That's what we have to do whenever we feel down. Remember to treat, no, to you, because it says, remember to treat yourself kindly when your emotions are beating up your brain. And when we get all anxiety ridden because we don't want to go somewhere or come on camera because our hair is just not in the right, it's not laying right, or our makeup isn't on right. We have to say, I love you. You look great.
Oh, I don't care if I look like a drag queen. I'm good with that.
Let me tell you something.
I know I don't have a dingle dangle down there. I'm good.
It don't matter. I think that drag queens take better care of themselves than we do. Their makeup is flawless.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Their
like
outfits are flawless. There's this place in Greenwich Village that I've been to. I haven't been there in a couple of years. It's called Lips. And I go in there and I'm just amazed at these women and how they put their makeup and their hair and their outfits, and they're so sassy and everything. And I'm like, they're better at skincare than we are. But yes, it's totally true.
So good morning, Bridget Williams, Iritza.
Bridget Williams, look at
Chanel, real deal. Oh, is that Bridget's?
Yes.
Nice.
This is what she delivered to me at the book signing. So here it is.
Wonderful. Chanel, I sent you an email. I'm not sure if you got it. So update information on our little project. So just check your email or junk mail just in case. And I think we said good morning. You said good morning to Janet and Michelle.
No, I didn't. I haven't.
Michelle Rivera, Michelle Houston, Ana Laura. And yes, Carmen Nieves in the house. Connie's there. Lillian's there. Mariluz, good morning. Desare is on. All right. I think we got it. Listen, remember, if you jump on and we don't happen to see you jump on Facebook, just give a little shout out and say good morning, because we see you on our feed in our computer, but sometimes we don't catch you if you just pop onto Facebook. So definitely shout out and say good morning. All right.
Yes, say buenos dias, good morning.
Chanel said she was long party weekend. All right, Chanel, that's what I'm talking about. I got to live your life. That's right. Don't be answering emails that I'm sending out to you. That's fine. I'm good with that. All right. So, we're going to be talking about what is beauty today. And if I actually recall half the crap that I write when I put these together, obviously we're talking about beauty, in the eye of the beholder, but who has the right to say what is beautiful? It's the most specific of what is beauty, like what the most important piece of this is what we believe beauty to be, right? So what did I put in here? So I said, what is beauty? What makes a person beautiful? What makes a situation beautiful? So we're not even just talking about people. Is there power behind beauty? And if so, who is in charge of the power? Let's talk about beauty and let's talk about perspective. How's that sound? That sounded, I'm impressed myself for a second. Okay. So, okay. Oh my gosh. So Mari Luz is in California. See, we love our West Coast people. That's dead. And listen, my sister's on the West Coast and she doesn't even watch the show live. So Mari Luz, we are very happy to have you here. She said, been up since 4:20. My hair isn't even brushed, but I look good. And I already have my cafe good. That's right. That's what it is. Beauty is, how many times have you gone to the store? You're like getting ready. You're like, screw it. I've got to get out of here. I got to go food shopping. You like plop your hair up in what is it? A muño. You just like, you don't even have any makeup on. You wear the crappiest clothes, right? And of course you see everybody at the grocery store. And then the person says, oh my God, you look fantastic. And you're in your head going, so when I try and make myself look good, I don't get the compliment. When I feel like I look like shit, don't even try, I get the compliment. So it is truly like, if we don't believe, we're walking out there going, I just look like crap. I hope I don't see anybody. And then the person comes out with, oh my God, you look fantastic. And then you wonder, are they just saying that because, or I think a lot of times they mean it, right? Don't you think so?
Because everybody sees beauty, and sometimes the beauty is your smile. It's your hello. It's the, I've known them forever and they've always been kind. It's that, oh, look at Margie and I've needed a hug today. They're thinking this, right? So they know when they run into me, they're gonna get a hug. So that's when I think when you look your most natural is when you're most beautiful. Right here, this way. But I think the beauty that it runs down into your big toe. It's the compassion and kindness you carry. It's your contagious laughter. It's just that warm embrace. It's the smile that can help anybody believe that today's a good day. That's beauty to me.
See, I just have to always take Luis with me. Luis is always given compliments. He puts badass today. She's a very beautiful, articulate, caring, compassionate woman. Spot on, Luis. That's true.
She said that. Well,
I will own it. And then Desiree is saying that she's calling me out. Beauty Buddha. Okay, that's how I'll take it. That works. Liza says she needs a hug. What's up, Liza? What is going on that you need a hug? So Liza started her business. She opened up, her grand opening was yesterday for her massage practice. So definitely check Liza out. Liza's one of our guests. She's a regular guest now. So definitely check her out. And yeah, I mean, and let me tell you, I appreciate that. So thank you, Louis. Thank you, Desiree. This is actually what the tribe is all about. The tribe is there to remind us when we have those moments. I mean, I'm just joking. I'm not having those moments, but I do have my moments other days. And it's there for everyone to lift each other up, like to find the beauty in people, this reminds me of this story. So my office used to be my chiropractic office. When I was full-time chiropractic, I had a massage chiropractic, and it was downtown Bridgeport, right on Main Street. It was over by closer to the we lost. Oh, there we go.
No,
it was closer to the theater. You remember where the theater is? The old theater, the Palace Theater, whatever it's called. So one day, I used to bring my daughter there, my 17-year-old. She used to come to work with me. And when she was about, like, I don't know, 1.5, 2 years old, she walked up to the front door and she would just stand there with her hands on the glass door before anybody got there. And she would just stand there and look out. And this woman walked by with her daughter, who was about the same age as Madison. And the two of them were standing across from each other, one on one side of the door, one on the other, with their hands matching. And they were both laughing at each other. And the little girl was just gorgeous, right? And the mom comes up behind her, and the mom had been burned extensively on her face. Like you could see, like years ago, like she had the scars, but her face was very malformed as a result of the accident, the trauma. And I looked at the mom and we looked at each other and we just smiled because we saw the kids. And I could tell by looking at the baby that the baby like looked like the mom. Like that's before the accident, you know? And at that moment though, all I saw was beauty. Like all I saw was beauty in the mom, and the mom's the smile and the look in the mother's eyes at the joy that she was noticing between the interaction between our two children, you know. And she had passed by a couple of times, you know. I saw her more than once, and I would always say hi to her, and she would always say hi to me, and sometimes she would have her daughter and sometimes she wouldn't. But you know, it's important for us to see beyond what we see. You know, I mean, I've met the most physically gorgeous people, right? Gladiator Guru, you can attest to this. I'm going to say this collectively. We've met the most physically gorgeous people who are the ugliest people ever because they are just awful, mean people. It reminds me of the movie. Remember with the movie with Jack Black, where he was only able to see the beauty of people on the inside. Oh, yeah. It was what was it called? Not Something About Mary. That's the other one. It was oh my God, what's the name of that movie?
I don't know, because I love Jack Black. I watch all his movies.
But I love that movie. It's a comedy, but it's the girls, the one was Rosemary. That was the character in there, the girl. But I love that movie because it's a funny movie, but at the same time, it's very symbolic. It's got the moral story to it, you know? And it's true. I think a lot of times we don't really look at initially, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's just human nature. We're shallow Hal. Yes. Thank you, Attica. Bola Hala in the house. So I haven't done that in a while. So, yeah, I think that we don't, it's natural for us to do that. I don't think we should condemn ourselves for initially being that way, to say, oh, that individual's attractive or they're not or whatever. But it takes us to go beyond that and then look like deeper into that individual, right? Yes, Carmen.
Yeah, but you have to want to. You have to want to. Good morning, Erica. You have to want it because like I said, this is fleeting. So this will go. Like, you know, are you willing to watch me go completely gray and wear proudly my wrinkles? Or is that the beauty that you seek, or is it the always made up beauty? But then that's within us to notice that beauty attracts beauty, but I'm talking about beauty of the soul, and we got to pay more attention to that. And then the world can seem like a botanical garden of roses and blooms. But we have to set that stage for us. We have to walk and attend spirit to spirit, not flesh to flesh. And that's hard for some people, especially because there's a lot of people who are so vain and shallow that all they want is to see aesthetics and nothing beyond that. Like, you know, the morning after, they like to joke around, like she looked good in the club, and then till the morning lights, you know, came in, but you exchange all this conversation.
Dude, she looked good in the club because you were drinking too much. I mean, in the end, I mean, that's like, the same goes for us.
See, I don't think that. I think they look good in the club because they had a connection. There was a conversation. There was a laughter that lured them in. And then all of a sudden, it went to what their face looked like. Or maybe she was too chunky and they didn't want their friends to know that that they like big girls, or whatever the case may be. Shallow Hal, Iris wrote.
Yeah,
that was the movie with Jack Black.
We established that like 5 minutes ago.
That's what I'm saying.
And thanks, Iris.
Yes.
And Michelle.
But Carmen sent me a quote for today that she says brings tears to her every time she reads it.
Wonderful.
And it's from Henry Thoreau, which you love.
I do.
It says, it's not what you are looking at that matters. It is what you see. Let's say that again for the people in the back. It's not what you are looking at that matters. It's what you see.
That's correct.
She goes on to say, I almost cry because it's so deep. I see possibilities in life, people, and things. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And yes, Carmencita, that's so true. You know, let me tell you a quick story because I don't want to take away from this, but since we're talking about beauty and aesthetics and handsomeness, when I first met my husband, his calmness engulfed my rage, right? Like where it's like we were here talking, but his calm spirit left him and met up with my rageful spirit, and they were sitting in the corner having their own conversation. If you can now visualize my story with me. And I would look at my husband and I'd be like, he is the ugliest guy. Like, what the hell am I doing here? Right? Swear to God, true story. And he would talk to me, and then finally, like, he came to Connecticut and met some people, but we used to call him the Grinch, right? So, but his soul was so beautiful and his spirit was so calming. It was like God gifted him to my raging soul. So, of course, as time goes on, you don't see this. You see this. And the love is like so beautiful that even as he lay dying, he was so beautiful and powerful because it was his spirit. Erica Balahala spent endless days with me while I was cared for Eric, so she can also attest to that. Because we used to have that conversation with Eric, like, what the hell? I never found you attractive. If I would have seen you in the street, I would have walked on by. And he's like, what you think? That you cute? You ain't cute? And we would have that kind of thing, but the honesty was there. And again, that quite honesty is also so beautiful. But it's you go beyond that. Like even though I would say that as I looked at him and chuckle with him about it, it never separated us because there was such a stronger pull of energy towards one another. And I think if we take the time out to consider both, then the stronger one, will always have the sun shining on the part that you think is ugly until you get it. So I hope that we learn, especially in our age, to get it. And how do you see beauty, Badass Buddha? How do you really identify with someone else's beauty? By not judging.
Yes, that's correct. That's right. Because people, when you look beyond the physical and you look deeper, the beauty and the ugly are always directly related to our experiences, and then how we look at the person. Because this is what with the quote that Carmen was saying, when we look deeper, when what Thoreau was saying with that when we see, it's what was it again? It's when you see what you're looking at, right? No, what was it?
It says that beauty, there is beauty. It's not what you are looking at that matters. It's what you see.
And what we see is always based on our perception too. Mm-hmm. So it's based on our experiences. So here's the interesting thing. If you are a beautiful soul, you see beauty more often in most things and people. You will always be more open to that. Even if you come across very harsh, that you like on the outside, if you are deep down a beautiful soul, you will see the beauty. And this is what I have learned over the last few years, that those that are not cluttered with that lack or scarcity mindset have the ability to see beyond what is in front of them. And I've learned to really want to be around those people more often. I've been around the other people, the people, we were talking about this in the clubhouse. And by the way, Gladiator Guru and I had a wonderful conversation in the clubhouse just between the two of us because nobody showed up. So we were good with that. But we were talking about awareness, and this is part of this. It's seeing beyond what is there, Go ahead and talk. I have to check on something with my kid.
No. So Carmen also went on to say that people hate when they don't understand the whys of beauty beyond skin deep. It confuses them a little. Why? Because, let's just be quite honest. Some people don't want to work hard at understanding, because then they have to get out of their own way and do something different, right? So when the whys of the beauty beyond skin deep, a house that is all messed up and ugly, but has the potential. And the way a street is so beautiful after the rain. And so, I mean, if you're going to find it difficult to look at somebody, I have a friend in Orlando, Robertito. He always accused me of looking at people with the eyes of my heart, because I'll say, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. And he'll look at me. He's like, no, she's not. So he always tells me que I look at the people con los ojos del corazón. because I love a smile. I love somebody who has a gentle tone of voice, because I don't. I
Hmm.
admire somebody and I just love them when they can just tell you that about a dream they had, and because the dream was so touching, they're actually crying in real life as they're telling you their dream. That's beautiful to me. You know, the smell of the dirt after the rain or right before it's gonna have a summer shower. You smell it. That's beautiful.
Yes, I agree with you.
Do I say, damn, that's an ugly mofo? Of course, because I'm human and sometimes that's my first reaction on something. Doesn't mean I'm not going to speak to them and
Oh my
learn
God.
about them. I'm not pretty to a lot of people. Byron will tell you, you're all right, Shorty. You ain't all that. I don't know why everybody thinks you're beautiful. And I love that he tells me that. Why? Because it's his truth. And everybody can look at me. 5 people can look at me and one will think I'm pretty and the other one don't, because they'll see my hips are too wide, my food butt is a
But
little big.
and
There's so
that's on
many,
them, and that's
and
on
it's not
them.
even judgmental. It's just what they're seeing,
Correct.
what
Right.
they are aesthetically accustomed to. So is there right and wrong in that? Now they're gonna say like really harsh things that can be judgmental, but we cannot condemn or be upset with somebody because they don't like a piece of art that we love, because they're just looking at it different, and we are all a piece of art, mi gente.
Yes.
And if we keep that in mind, that we are all a piece of art, and not everybody likes Picasso, not everybody likes Monet, or what's the guy that cut his ear?
Van Gogh.
You know, nobody's gonna want to go to the Sistine Chapel and see Michelangelo's drawing, because he didn't paint that; he just drew it. Let's just be real. Let's call it as it is, right? So that's what art is. Who cares about the girl with the pearl earring? Not everybody.
Here, let me show you what Marilu's wrote, because this is beautiful. It says, that is so true. When my younger son Miguel Angel was younger, he would wear his pants low. He had tattoos. People saw the outside. They didn't see what he was on the inside. Now he's 36. He is a teacher. He has his own he owns his own basketball camp called Hoop 413. He gives to people in need. He has a heart of gold, and God has blessed him so much. He has a beautiful soul. Yes. And so, speaking along those lines, I don't know if anybody remembers, there was a commercial, and it shows that it's panning in the little girl's bedroom, and there's the dad and the little girl sitting at her little table, and he's all tatted out, like he looks like a gang member. He was Latino, and the little girl's all dressed up in her little like whatever outfit, and she's painting nails. And here's this dude, like he looks like if you saw him walking down the street, you'd be like, I got to switch sides. Like it's one of those things, And here he is. And I love that. I've always loved when I love getting that mind fuck, because that's what it is. It's like when you see and you think, but because of based on your perception, what you see in front of you, and then you make an assumption that an individual is this way, and then all of a sudden they like, whoo, it's just like when I see like a stunningly beautiful woman, and the first thing that comes into most people's mind, because of our perception, again, stunningly beautiful, there's a trade-off. Then all of a sudden this woman pops out this amazingly brilliant scientific stuff that starts spewing out of her mouth, and I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm like, oh my God, she's hot, and she's got brains like nobody's business. I love that, because I believe in that with people. And but as I was saying, it comes with the territory. See, Gladiator Guru, you and I get along probably so well because you and I both are very much the same with this piece. We see the beauty. We know there's beauty out there. We look deeper. We go beyond. I'm not saying it to toot our own horn. This took me a long time to get here. I wasn't always like this. I was just like the masses. I was very judgmental. This took years of me coming into my own and making the effort to say, I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to be this person. And that's the person that resonates with me. That's the person I was always meant to be. And I have not been happier with my life in that sense since I made that switch 5.5 years ago.
That's, the commercial you're talking about and what Marilu said. We were talking about that yesterday. I believe I mentioned it to you, but I was also talking to my Aunt Gladys about it because people like to judge from what they see. And I talk a lot about God. And I'll talk about God even after I just started, using colorful language. And then I'm like, well, let me talk to you about my God. And I can have my cigarette in hand because, yes, I'm a smoker. Yes, I'm trilingual. I speak English, Spanish, and profanity, sometimes all at the same time. And I have tattoos. And as you can see, I have tattoos all over. Um, so what happens with that? When people look at me, they judge me the minute, because I'm talking about God, they see me having a cigarette and what the fuck is going on with this and blah, blah, blah. And they're seeing my art, my body art. And I noticed that looking dumb. And that's when I say, you know what? I smoke, I curse, I have tattoos. I may be a heathen in your eyes, maybe in mine sometimes, but Jesus loves me. And then they stay stumped and they don't know what to say. And I'm not correcting, like, to verify who I am, but sometimes it's about educating people on how not to judge. So it's like, yeah, the first impressions are not always correct, Anna. And then they say like the first 3 seconds, and it's wrong. The first 3 seconds of an interview, of you meeting somebody for the first time for whatever reason, you're nervous. You're nervous. It is not who you are, right? So I think that commercial, I haven't seen it, but if you can find it on YouTube and send it to me, I would love that, because that speaks volumes. And Mariluz, look at basketball camp. He's 36. He's doing his thing.
Yep.
That's
and look,
beautiful.
Carmen says, I love my Vic for so many things. I've told him and others, I love you because you are my husband, but you are someone I would like anyway. I'm blessed, and sometimes it's hard to say all those things my heart feels. I feel it. I should say it more. I assume he knows I shouldn't. Texting him now. Oh,
good.
Carmen,
That's beautiful.
That's phenomenal.
And they, you know what? We must, especially when it comes to our loved ones, our children, our parents, our significant others, our lovers, our husbands. You know what? We have to remove the words and the what's behind the word, the action of expectations and assumptions. Just eliminate them from your vocabulary. Eliminate it, like just evict it from your brain and rip it out of your soul. And do not use that. Because of this same thing, and my son and I, we had a Instagram thing on expectations and assumptions and how it destroys relationships. It just destroys the whole trajectory of what it is and how it should be, because we assume they know and we expect them to reciprocate what we're assuming they should know. So you assume they know that you love them and this is what you like done. And then you're mad at them because you expected them to treat you with the love that you're assuming they know that you have for them. And what happens? What ends up happening? You destroy something that was meant to be, something the universe conspired to create for you. And then you wonder why you're miserable. We must remove expectations and assumptions towards the people we love, because until we meet them, and you know what, and just accept things for what they are and say I love you. Death has taught me that there's no time to waste time, and to say I love you 20 times a day if you must, and just love and call somebody and be like, I was supposed to be with the badass Buddha today, and I was like having awful dreams. I went to bed at 11. I woke up several times because I was dreaming with demons of all things, and I missed my 6:15 and my 6:20 alarms and didn't wake up until I heard her text reminding me to bring a change of clothes because we're going to do some photos later. And I was like, and then it still took me like 5 minutes to orient myself. I'm so upset that I was late. And so here we are separately, but we'll be together later. But that's what it's about. If we eliminate the word sorry, we tend to say sorry as women for everything, even if we didn't do anything, or we don't need to be sorry. We don't need to be sorry for absolutely. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep. I agree. Thank
you.
But
you had questions written down, didn't you, Laura? When in the thing.
Well, I was just talking about beauty, finding beauty. What did I say? I forgot what I said. Hold on a second.
What makes a person beautiful? What makes a situation beautiful? Is there power behind beauty? And if so, who's in charge of the power?
Okay. Yes. Thank you. So right. There is, I think there is power behind beauty. I mean, we've made it that way because of what we've decided what is beautiful. So it is true. People who are, this is not like stuff made up. This is stuff that has been tested through little, research, little, whatever, that people who are better looking, quote, better looking, the norm better looking, they'll always get things more like there's more opportunities. And again, it depends on what is, quote, the norm. And what I love though is that we've made the norm much bigger now. Like before, the norm was much smaller. Like what we considered beautiful fell into a very, very narrow category. But I believe now we have spread this out. Like we are looking beyond, because all it takes is society to step up and start demanding this in the ways of saying, okay, this is what's beautiful. Like, so I forgot I don't know if it was Dove, but they started showing women.
Yes, and their
like
full figure.
Purpley and like all kinds of interesting.
And the full figure, yeah.
Right. But not just about weight, but just like what, quote, would not have been considered in the norm of beauty. And they start showing these very unique people. And if you look through magazines now, there's a lot of unique models out there. Their teeth aren't perfect. They've got like spaces. They've got really whacked out hair. They've got real light skin, but then they've got dark freckles all over their body. We've had this very narrow look of saying, okay, women have to look this way. They can't be too dark. They can't be too light. They have to be this thin. They can't be hippie. If they're they have to have big boobs. They like all these like. And we finally are starting to get away from that to say, you know what, that's unrealistic. Beauty is everywhere. And even when you look at animals, we can say, oh my God, I was watching something a couple days ago and they were showing the ugliest dog contest, and I got mad just because the ugliest dog contest is really just, it pisses me off because that's breeding. Like that's the part I get mad. I see beyond the ugly. I see this is poor breeding. And this is why these dogs look so ugly, but people want them, which is beautiful. And they're winning these contests because people still find them beautiful. So you look at that and you go, oh my God, that's ugly, but somebody else finds it beautiful. So the positive on that is that what one person might think is not beautiful, another person will. Because they see beyond. And so even in a situation, I'm not a big fan of facades anymore. Like, right. So let's talk about not people. Let's talk about situations or places. You go to a place and you look at it, it's like, oh my God, it's just beautiful. The building's beautiful. The grounds are beautiful. But then you find out that the owner of the facility is like a piece of shit. So how beautiful is that now? Like, how does that change things for you? It's like a company puts across this beautiful element, it's like the idea of oil companies, saying, oh, we donate to the ocean and we throw all this money out to these things. Oh, isn't that beautiful for them to do that? But they're the ones who polluted it. So that makes them ugly, So it is our perception, but we have to go past the judgment. We have to go past the perception, go beyond that and look deeper into the person, into the situation, into whatever, we're looking at.
Yeah, well, that's also something that people have to train at, like look what Brenda wrote, that she remembers growing up and wanting straight hair because that was what considered beautiful back then. Well, yeah, that, and then people with straight hair wanted curly hair. So it's like we have to learn how to be satisfied with what we are so that then we can see the beautiful beauty and everything else. But yeah, Brenda, growing up, it's hard, growing up in a Puerto Rican family, right? My little sister has like a ass forever. She could carry groceries on it. And I wasn't blessed with that. I was blessed with wide hips. So then you go around and so then you grow up with the stigma that you're not pretty because you don't have a big ass. So people are not looking at you guys. It's all crazy until now when you say, you know what, I love all of me. Every bump. I wrote a piece on the construction, how it talks about how my tummy looks like a shabby chic project and I'm okay with it, and how my hips are wide, giving the illusion that I have a big ass, but it's just an illusion. And you know what? Because I love every inch of me, my fupa that Iris was mentioning earlier, And and my wrinkle right here in my neck, if when I'm bending down too much and the excess skin hangs, because it's me. It's me that I survived to be the age that I am. So I gotta love it. But we still gotta work hard and moisturize, right? Badass Buddha, we still gotta
Ah,
moisturize and maybe invest in the tape behind the ears that pull your cheeks up a little so you don't
that's
go
what
from
I
cheeks
want.
to jowls.
I
But
want.
that's a personal preference. It's not that we are berating ourselves, nor do we expect anyone else, because we are aging. And if we're going to age gracefully, we got to embrace who we are and just work at, fixing the little things that we can. But because the beauty that resides within will pour out anyway with the natural glow, with just a smile. Like if your eyes are all poofy like mine were this morning, right? If you walk around with a smile all day, it's not going to look bad.
So
And how
Desiree,
many lives can you affect by smiling all day?
so Desiree said she contradicted herself. She said there's beauty in every single thing. Then she said, yes, bad souls change everything. And then she said, I contradicted myself for the last two comments. It's okay. But there is, I believe, okay, you actually brought up a really good point. Is there really beauty in everything? How about that, Gladiator Guru? What do you? I've been around enough to know. I think there's a way to say this. There's potential beauty in everything, but there's
Yes.
not beauty. There's not beauty in everything.
Well, I can say confidently that I see beauty in everything because I know that God is in everything. So if God is in everything and that's something that I believe in, then there's beauty in everything. Are there ugly things? Absolutely. Are there ugly people because they're just so fucking demonic? You want to punch them in the throat? Absolutely. I'm not so enlightened that I'm like, oh, everything is just like if I was on acid. No,
Sunshine and roses.
there's truth that we must seek the beauty in everything. We must seek it because God is in everything. But we must also admit to the ugliness, because then that's when we got to add an extra touch of niceness to it, because, two wrongs don't make a right. And I learned that, you talked about what you learned a couple years ago. I also learned 4 years ago, because at this time, 4 years ago, I'm still walking through the northwest part of Spain. So it was then that I learned a lot of things that I've put into practice in my life now. But prior to that, no. I was a heathen. I would taste people's blood because I was just so active in that way. But what happens? There is, we should and must. I think we must, in order to live with peace in our hearts and be very aware of everything that's happening and choose to smile instead of punch. That's within, right? But yeah, there is ugly in the world. And if we acknowledge that there is that ugly when we're seeing it, then guess what? It doesn't mesh in with all the pretty stuff. And that's what we got to be aware of. Because there is ugly. There are ugly people. There's evil people. There's just some rotten, selfish, narcissistic sons of bitches. One that will ruin it for the next 5 you meet. So we must be very aware to focus and acknowledge that is that one person, so that when you step out an hour later and you run into a group of people who are singing on the corner or just saying hello to you as you pass by, you don't blame them or you don't attach that ugliness to them, because that's what happens very easily. So
Chenille writes, I really try to find the beauty in everything, but you are right. I want to punch a lot of people in their throats. They are ugly. And two wrongs don't make a right, but two rights don't make a left.
yes.
I'm working on my looking at those ugly people with a little bit of beauty. Well, okay, so but I got to tell you something, Chenille, and you're right. I mean, I think that I could say that I'm sure Gladiator Guru agrees completely with that. I know I do, but there is a point where we have to say, I'm not going to exhaust myself, and I know you're not saying this. We have to make a choice, though, that it's not worth putting the extra effort into these people to see their beauty when other people are so willing to be beautiful without any facades. Like they're, and I've chose. See, I was always the person seeking the beauty. Oh, I believe in that person. I'm going to fix that person. I'm going to help that person. I see what's inside of them. Fuck that. I wasted a lot of time doing that. I would rather be with the people who are going to step up and say, I was an asshole. I'm not that person anymore. And I'm and I'm choosing to be this way. So I do see the beauty in people, but I've also learned to step back and say, I see it, but I'm not going to pull it out of you. I'm going to be who I am. And if you feel comfortable enough to be brave enough to let it out because you feel comfortable with me, I'm good with that. But I am not going to make the effort to pull it out in you because it's a waste of my time. I've wasted a lot of time and not spent it with the people who really deserve the time, that are really, really beautiful people. And I've really made a stance on this. It's funny. This really is hitting me now with this conversation, that I really have, I made a choice to be around people that are beautiful on the inside, that I've met in the last couple of years. I've known, it's not even that I've met them in the last couple of years. I've known them for a long time. I've had certain people ask me, I'm not going to say the names, but I've had certain people ask me that, oh, you're not attracted to me anymore. You don't like me anymore. And what do I need to do or whatever? And I'm like, it's not the outside. It's not the it's not the outside. That's not the problem. It's the inside. That's what I'm looking at now. I see a lot of very nice looking people. I have relatives that are nice looking. I have friends that are nice looking. People that I've known that are nice looking, but I also see them on the inside and I don't want any part of it. So for me to say, oh, they're nice, like, well, physically, yeah, they are, but on the inside, they're not, and they're not people that I want to be around anymore.
Well, and I think that's perfect that you acknowledge that and you accept it, because only you can do that. No one makes us miserable but ourselves for staying somewhere where we shouldn't be, right? And I don't think we need to pull beauty out of people. I think that when we are authentically beautiful and our integrity just pours out of us like that, then the people who want to see beauty and feel beauty and know beauty and they're ugly right now, they'll see it. But I think if we walk in our truth and be who we are, and then we will mesh with people who are like that. But we have to meet those that are ugly. It's part of our
Absolutely.
path, our destiny. We need to meet them to remind us to stay beautiful.
That's correct.
And to remind us that not everybody has had the gifted opportunity to know beauty, because all they lived was ugly and starvation and so sometimes it's like I've told you since I met
Oh,
you,
good
Badass Buddha,
word.
I give everybody an A until they fuck it up. And I don't know what their background, I don't care what their background is. I don't care what I've heard about them. When their spirit is in front of my spirit, that's what I go by. And you know what? Sometimes they stay and sometimes they cannot. And maybe they cannot because I choose not to, or maybe they just can't be around the positivity, because a lot of people can't be around positivity either until they become familiar with it. But Bridget says that there's an old saying that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. However, it is our individuality and uniqueness that makes us beautiful to others. Absolutely.
Yes. Yep. And you said something fabulous, and I put it up here. So you used the word starvation, and it made me think. So being around the ugly starves the soul. So if you're right, you can't know beauty unless you're around ugly. You can't know ugly unless you're around beauty. You can't know light and dark. We say this, you say this all the time. So we have said this numerous times, but you're right. And if you're around the ugly too much and you let yourself be sucked in, your soul will starve. And I've felt this. Because you will lose yourself, you will become the ugly. Even if you are a good spirit. It's just like, why do some people, let's say you hear about a kid who has, first of all, kids don't think clearly until they're 25 anyway, but you hear like a teenager, a younger, a preteen, where they did something bad with this group of kids. And you're like, oh my God, truly, like, I can't believe my child would do this, because they're a good, kind-hearted kid, and they could be. but because they're so influential, they're so influenced by the ugly, that they will follow suit. It's like a pack of dogs, like a one dog might not be vicious, but you get a pack of dogs together, and once they start getting all riled up, they can be, even the most docile dog could sometimes become very vicious. I mean, it's maybe not the most docile dog, but so if you're caught up in the ugly, if you allow yourself to be caught up in that ugliness of the spirit, the soul, the person within, then you too can become ugly. I was, I really was. I was told by people after my transformation, I was told by people that they didn't like me years ago. And I did not take that as an insult. I said yes, because that's not who I was. That wasn't the real me. And there were fleeting moments of the real me that would come out, but it would always be squashed by the ugly, lack, scarcity mindset person. And so there's so many pieces to this. It's not just the physical look, it's the how you present yourself, what the energy that you're putting, because in the end, it is all about energy. You could fix your face all you want. You could wear the hot looking clothes. You could lose the weight. You could get physically fit. You could do whatever you want to do. But in the end, it's the energy that you put off. And that is where the beauty is. If your energy is beautiful, that's what you will put off. If your energy is ugly, that's what you will put off.
Well, yeah, I think that with self-trust and self-love, you won't be a follower. I think that sometimes people get lost because they don't strive to be better, or they forget where they come from, and they're in that depressive mode. But it's all of us. We've all been there. I don't know. When I was bad because I wanted to be bad, because I wanted to fight with somebody, because I needed to put somebody in their place, because somebody thought that because I was in my space that they can do whatever. So then I had to excuse myself from seeking my serenity and put somebody in their place. Now it's like, I'm going to always be that person. And if somebody wants to call it ugly, no, I'm going to always be that.
No, but that's the, wait, okay.
I'm going to love you because you're beautiful, but you keep on, I'm going to fucking punch you in the throat.
Wait. That does not make you ugly. That's called a boundary. The difference, listen, the difference is this. Your boundary is set differently now. You don't take it so personally when somebody says this, or this. You take it much further. And then once they cross the line of your boundary, you're like, okay.
I got to remind them. Yeah. I got to remind them what the whole package is.
And you have to. There's nothing not beautiful about that. You are just standing up for who you are. But prior to that, your boundaries were... It took very little to cross the boundary, because you've been a fighter your whole life. You've been having to fight for so much stuff since you were a child that's all you know. It didn't make you ugly. It was just it was your circumstances. But the fact that you know the difference, that you saw, you still could be a beautiful individual and help individuals, but you also had a big wall up saying, don't cross this. You just learned to say, I don't need that wall for protection. I have a boundary, but I don't need that, because I know who I am. And your bullshit can't hurt me.
You know what? It's not so much that I know who I am. I've always known who I was. It's about allowing myself to say, maybe they don't know who they are. Perfect. So I'm not going. And that's why, since I walked through Spain, I have did a total turnaround. That's why I enjoy having this platform, because I've been there and I'm not there as I used to be there. And it's so much more healing, because when I look at somebody, I'm not looking at their flesh. I'm trying to visualize their energy. And as a healer, when I look at their energies, and you can see what color it is just by their movements and stuff. And by doing that, then I understand that they haven't been introduced to the beauty of life. They haven't been introduced to their beauty. They're still stuck on the problem that happened, of the pain they suffered, of the blockage that they've had in their life. And they're not looking over, even if it's like this, to see the sunlight. So why were they placed in my life at this point? Why are they in my life at this point? Because I'm supposed to help with a word, with a hug, with a come on, be a part of my tribe.
Or so that's what we strive. Or it's a reminder for you to be who you are. Why are
To
they put
be
here?
who,
Why is the ugly person put here? Well, maybe it's not to help them. Maybe it's a reminder to be acutely aware of being around the people that you know could use it. Maybe they can use it. But if they're not willing, then you say, okay, good, then I'm going to move on. I want to just post a couple of these
yeah, go
comments.
ahead.
So Desiree, I've wasted so much time like this as well. I've realigned, and good choice of words, by the way. I realign myself with people who don't need to be fixed and are trying to fix themselves by doing things just as seeking out you two. Thank you for that. We appreciate that,
Oh
Desiree.
my goodness, that's
It is
beautiful.
absolutely beautiful. And then
Desiree
Tiffany,
with the magical red hair.
and Tiffany, I've encountered some physically beautiful people that have inner brokenness, which makes some of their actions ugly. I have to step back and realize I don't know their story. Sometimes for me, talking helps me learn a lot about them. Absolutely, and can help make a difference. Yes,
That's what
it
we
is
do, Tiffany.
beautiful to take the time to hear it, but you also have to set boundaries within that time frame too, because some people, and this is where the narcissists come into play, is they will give you the pity party. They will suck you in saying, oh, I'm so broken, I need help. But they're not. That's just their way of sucking you in. And it's just about always being aware, like knowing who you are, knowing what you'll let in, what you won't. But just the beginning quote is seeing, like actually seeing what's there, not what you're flat out looking at right in front of you. It's seeing beyond and giving yourself a time frame to say, how long am I going to allow myself to be a part of this, to see who this person is. Let me say what Desiree says. I got attacked in school because I was so shy that a girl thought I was conceited and came after me. I didn't even know what conceited meant at the time. It crushed me when I found out. I now say hello to basically everyone, and I see, and mostly people look at me like I have three heads. Let them look, especially in Bridgeport, because the truth is I am shy, but I do love people, and I don't want to be shy. I'm pushing through that every day of my life. And good for you. You are brave. You are a warrior, Desiree. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome.
And I'm sorry you went through that. That's awful. That is really awful.
It's
To
awful.
I've been that is that like, where's my heart? My heart's over here. But you know what? I'm sorry. That made me sad that had to have happened, because when you showed up at my book signing, you were so vivacious and vibrant. There was so much life in your eyes, like your eyes were dancing as you were talking to me. And for that to have happened to you after meeting your spirit and hearing this now, it's really sad. And I'm glad that you maintain your integrity and your help me out here with the word, your authenticity at being who you are, and just say hi. Let people, I be having sold out concerts at Madison Square Garden as I'm driving. People look at me like I'm crazy. I be like, what? I might like the main singer, the musicians, to everything. I am this, and I don't care who looks at me. And when I see somebody like staring at me, like telling somebody, look at that crazy girl, I blow them a kiss.
Yeah.
Or I wave. Like, hey, and guess what? They drive away and they're laughing, even though they're shaking their head saying she's crazy. Guess what? If they're on their way to work, I'm gonna be popping up in their head. And what am I gonna make them do? I'm gonna make them want to listen to music.
That's right. I said, I've had that happen numerous times when I was in traffic, when I used to drive to work. And I said, I gave them something to talk about. Like, one guy was watching me and I was like going to town, and I happened to turn and he's looking at me and he's going like this. He's dancing with me. He's laughing. I'm like, that's what I did to him. And, so I just gave him, and again, it's just, it is what it is, like just, I love it. You said the authenticity word, and that's really what it's about. It's, we need to, so we're going to leave it at this, that beauty is within. There is always that potential for everybody to be beautiful, but we focus on ourselves first. We seek the beauty within ourselves. Then we put it outward. We put that energy outward, hopefully attracting the people that are beautiful spirits as well. And those that are out there that they quite haven't gotten it yet. I don't like the way that sounds, but that they're ugly on the inside for whatever their reason. There's no judgment, but you give them the permission to let themselves free of it, but it's still their choice. And it's not our responsibility to pull that out of them. It is their responsibility, but we put that energy out there to give them the choice to do it. And I will always do that. Even with the people who have wronged me, I will always give them the chance to put it out there. But I'm not going to wait around for them, and I'm not going to be the one to fix them. And so this is how I live my life. And it's such a refreshing way to live. It's peaceful.
It is. Right? It is peaceful. And just, you know what? Again, those people are placed in our lives on purpose as a reminder. Sometimes if we run into them, remember, there's no coincidence. If you run into that person a second and third time, that means you got to work with them. That means you got to roll up your sleeves and be like, fuck my life, I thought I was over this. But you're going to help them. You're going to say, hey, call me. And you're going to give them encouraging words. And then you're going to do this, because sometimes that's just how we are made to be when we walk in the light of God.
But with boundaries.
Sometimes, but always with boundaries. And mi gente, thank you for staying on longer than necessary. Yeah, I was like driving to Boston singing Cher. Cher's my bitch. I love Cher. She's my idol. I wish I could meet her. She's turning 75 years old. But I just would kill the CD of Cher. Strong Enough, I believe. Yeah, so we drove to Boston. Even the kids memorized the damn CD. But yes, with that in saying, thank you all who joined us today. This was beautiful. And we need to be reminded of our beauty. Sometimes we are so focused on the beauty of how we look at everything. You know how we look at everything with beauty? When we feel the beauty, when we live the beauty of who we are and what we are and where we need to be. Because like I was talking to the Badass Buddha yesterday, we are a work in progress till our last breath. And every time we think we made it, oh my God, I made it. Guess what? You're just taking a break for the climb, because you're still going to have to climb until your last breath. So, seek the beauty within so that everything you look at is sprinkled with fairy dust. And with that, mi gente, thank you for joining us today. And Lori will.
On Thursday's show, Money Mindset. We're going to be talking about money, changing your mindset with Joanna Walker. So don't miss Thursday's show. And remember, we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know what to do to spread the word of Viva. Let everybody know that we're here. And yes, from me, the Gladiator Guru. No, I'm not the Gladiator Guru. What am I talking about? From me, what the hell was that?
It's beauty.
Oh
the reflection of beauty.
One day. Let's swap one day. Let's mess everybody up, and you put Badass Buddha and I'll put Gladiator Guru. All right. From the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
Yes, mi gente. And thank you to everybody who came. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. I am the Gladiator Guru. And remember, and please, for those listening, I did not make a mistake in my quote. So you're going to listen to me very carefully as I say something to you. We are going to breathe in the beauty, and we will breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste.